Hello everybody, welcome back to the Sleep Sleeper series. We got let down by Cramorant. You can see here we ended Master 17. We didn't quite reach Master 18, which is very, very unfortunate. We could have unlocked Expert Mode for the Sleepers. Now, I don't necessarily need Expert Mode unlocked. I've talked about this, so this is only a slight letdown. I don't have any immediate need for Expert Mode, but it would have been nice to unlock it, just to have the option on the table. And things did kind of line up this week, and I thought I was going to be able to make it. But I got close to the end of the week, and I said in the last video that if I got both meals to crit, then I would have had it. But I was wrong. I did more math later on, and based off where I did end up, I only needed one meal to crit. Because I would have gotten like 140,000 extra strength, which would have pushed me beyond that point. And if not, I would have just let the phone stay awake for a little bit longer before I actually put it to sleep to collect a little bit more strength, because I would have gotten it. I only needed one of those Sunday meals to crit, and not a single one did. Despite having boosted odds, because I used Cramorant. I used two Cramorants, because I have two of them in my box. At one point I realized that meal crits were my only shot. So I ran two Cramorants at the same time. Got that meal crit chance up to not an amazing amount, because they're only main skill level 1. They didn't surpass 50%. But the fact that it was operating at higher odds for all 3 meals of the day and didn't give me a single one is just so unfortunate. So we could have had it if RNG had been in our favor, seeing where we ended out, but we didn't get it. RNG was not in our favor, and that's what happens when you have to rely on gambling strategies. Why I absolutely hate any strategies that do depend upon some form of gambling. I'd much rather deal with things that are guarantees. But time to choose our next research site, which we're going back to Greengrass again. If we roll desserts again, then you know what? Maybe we try again. Maybe I purchase another good camp ticket. At this point, it feels almost like sunk cost fallacy, though. And I don't really want to do that. But at the same time, if the option's on the table, it should be a little bit easier this time, because we have 5% boosted area bonus. But we have to roll desserts. If we don't roll desserts, we're not using a good camp ticket, because there's no hope. Because that's really the only way that we even have a chance of getting there, with the Tea Time Corn Scones and eventually the Clodsire Eclairs on Sunday. That's the only way that we're going to even have a shot at making Master 18 on the Sleepers. And I'm not spending all of my easy travel tickets to re-roll for it again. That's not worth it. Why did it default to me going to Old Gold? That's not where I want to go. We're going to Greengrass. Land of Fall. What am I saying? Okay, yep, we're going here. And we're not re-rolling. I'm hard setting that boundary for myself. I don't need it Master 18 that badly that I'm going to re-roll the ingredients. And we rolled curries and stews. I'm alright with that. It just means we don't make an attempt at Master 18 this week. We don't use a good camp ticket. We just push in general. I don't even know what I have for curries and stews, honestly. Is there any meal that I have any shot at making reliably and well? I don't even know. What are the top tier curries and stews that I might have access to on the Sleepers? Okay. Leek snow. That I can say no to. No soybeans, no herbs. We don't have good soybean or leek productivity. Dream Eater butter curry is probably our best chance with milk, cacao. Well, but we're not making much cacao right now either. So that's not really a good one either. Coffee, herbs. We don't have access to honey right now. We don't really have access to herbs. I think our best one here is limber corn stew with corn, milk, potatoes. We can produce all 3 of those ingredients pretty easily. We have our Mr. Mime for potatoes. We have Toxtricity for milk. And we have Comfey for corn. So this is probably the best meal that we can be making. The real question is, if I'm to team build around that, will it make more than just generalist strength? The odds are a little bit better this time that making this is probably going to be a little bit stronger. Just because there's a 1.1 times meal boost, but 1.1 times isn't like a huge meal boost. So we'll see. I'm going to run some calculations. I'll do that after reviewing the sleep session and making breakfast, because we are running short on time for breakfast. I've got 29 minutes currently to make this meal, so I do want to do that. Yeah, Limbercorn Stew is my best option here, but for now, we're gonna make mild honey curry because we have the honey. Wait, I do have access to soybeans. Oh, but they're all stockpiled ones from Sudowoodo. We're not gonna be depending on Sudowoodo for our soybeans. Also, notably, I upgraded my pot size. You can see we're at like a little bit extra capacity. I upgraded it. It's now at 1 away from max. So we're going to be pushing for, hopefully we can build up enough dream shards across the course of this week that maybe we can get that last upgrade. I doubt it. I don't think we're going to get that much. Actually, I know we're not going to get that much because a big part of what I had to spend was the dream clusters. But we're going to be building it up over the course of the next couple weeks. Hopefully we can get there eventually. It's going to take some time, but my goal is to have that before the Amber Canyon releases. Although now that I've said that, setting a date for when it'll happen, it's probably not going to happen by then. Okay. There you go. Snorlax is already Master 5. That looks good, but it does get exponentially more difficult as time goes on, so... That's right, we also ended with the Cramorant. I should have tapped the Cramorant, because if he has it... He does. That might have made a difference if I had tapped him beforehand. Oh well. Most likely wouldn't have. There's only a 4% chance it would have made a difference. Well, I guess more than... The math on there would be funky. But anyway... let's collect these sleep points in case we need to buy a biscuit with them, which I hope we don't have to, but... And then let's hop right into our sleep session review. Once again, not so sure what we're hoping for. Obviously, we're hoping for a wild legend. If that were to happen, that'd be amazing. That would save us on some incenses. And it looks like we got snoozing. This does look like a solid snoozing chart. So, but it's balanced. I thought that was going to be snoozing for sure. Well, we're still looking for 2-star Raikou. These styles as well. Unlock Expert Mode's probably not going to happen. This is probably just going to be a loss. But we're going to work towards these goals primarily this week, and some of these ones. We'll see if we get enough mains for it. It's they're very expensive goals, I will say that. I will say, that's not that many 3-star styles. That does give me 2 3-stars. If those are evolved 3 stars, then probably no wild legend. But if they're not evolved, then there's a pretty good chance of there being a wild legend here. Seeing some evolved Pokemon, that's not a good... Hey! We did get a wild legend spawn! Would you look at that, everybody? That must be 1-star Suicune, because we aren't... I see no ice particles, and we're not at the point where 3-star Suicune can spawn anyway. So that is just a natural 1-star Suicune. That saves us an incense from having to spend to spawn and use an incense to get that. So we flipped a coin and succeeded, except for it wasn't even flipping a coin. For us, we actually had worse odds than coin flip because we're not at a high enough Snorlax strength to be able to see the 4-star or the 3-star styles. So we had less than coin flip odds. I don't know by how much, but oh, and a new style in Jolteon. That's good to see as well. So now the only ones that we're hoping for the rest of this week is 2-star Raikou and 2-star Entei are the other 2 styles that we're really hoping for. Okay. There is a Delibird here, so I guess we could be feeding that. Because we could use that for eggs. That'd be kind of nice for some desserts. Although now we kind of have a long-term dessert plan that we don't necessarily need to pivot for. Also, notably, there's only... Oh, wait, the Delibird as well. Delibird and Weepinbell are the only ones here that are not water, fire, or electric, so that is good to see. We still should have a pretty high main output just from having a wild legend this week. Or today. Growlithe's hungry, so we could just catch that. Flareon's hungry as well. The thing here I want the most is the Delibird. But I also don't have that many biscuits. so there is some confliction here. And I could use a good Growlithe, so you know what? We're just going to leave the Delibird there. I'm not even going to feed it, because I don't need it that badly. And we're just going to be conservative with our biscuits and just catch the Growlithe, because it was hungry. If Delibird comes back hungry, we'll feed it our daily biscuit, but I'm not spending great biscuits on it. That's preserved for Mono Hunt, or for a Honey Pinsir. That's our, like, biggest hunt right now, really, is Honey Pinsir. Sorry. It's not sending out the... I'm not sending out the Jolteon, we're sending out that Suicune. Well, that implies that the Jolteon 3-star actually uses more Drowsy power than 1-star Suicune, which... I guess that does make sense, being a fully evolved 3-star style versus a legendary 1-star. That just feels so off. Like, so off. Okay, Growlithe, bud, what you got for us? Serious nature, that's neutral. Still could be pretty good. No berry finding S at 10, which is alright, but we would like to have berry finding. It does have skill trigger M, and then potentially sub-skill Seedable help speed S, which is like what I usually consider to be my bare minimum investable for a skill specialist. But if I'm gonna invest in a, Arcanine over a Gallade, it's gotta be really good, because Gallade is much better at doing the skill. It's better at proccing. Additionally, people send out Ralts candy quite a bit, so it's an easier candy to come by. And then finally, it has a better ingredient list for what I'm looking to synergize with apples being in its list, and potentially leeks, and even corn. All three of those play a role in the meals that I'm targeting on this account. So, Growlithe is alright. This is definitely the best one I've caught, but I'm not even going to start it, because I can't see myself investing in it when I intend to go the Gallade route. One day, that Gallade will come our way. And it's not like we need it. We don't need a Pokemon to fill that role. Also, Arcanine takes one more main skill seed. That's another huge drawback to it for a free-to-play account. But anyway, let's see how we can budget our... Oh, I also never bought the daily gift today. Do that real quick. 1 Pokebiscuit. How anticlimactic. Oh, that would have been nice just a moment ago. I guess I could have I'm not going to talk about that. New inventory has been added. Yep, we do know about that. The cheaper incenses and the cheaper biscuits. I don't have any rush to run the incenses sooner rather than later, because our goals are 2-star styles, which we need to have a certain amount of Snorlax strength to be able to even see them. What is that point? What is the point where we can encounter the 2-star styles? I messed this up before, but... because I thought it was higher than what it needed to be, but... it's going to be whatever its DPR is divided by 100. Where is it? There's Raikou. Because Raikou is the one that takes the least. So, DPR for Greengrass is 115,976. So, 1.2 million basically. 1.15 million. Or 1.16 if you want to be even closer because of rounding. So, until we hit that point, we don't want to be running any incenses. So, I don't need to buy the incenses right now. Because we want to have a chance to see the 2 stars. So, my only goal is to have a leftover Suicune incense. Which we can do that very easily right now. But also to buy all the cheaper biscuits. Was also one of my goals. Which I bought some of them the other day. We'll buy these remaining 2 here, because now they're the extra cheap ones. And then hopefully we'll get more Pokemon materials as the day goes on from friends. We'll get more from the sleep session tomorrow. But I can mark off this goal, which puts us now at a 44. That's still not great. Yeah, man. But these should be pretty easy. These should... We'll see how many mains we get. That'll only be told as time goes on, but yeah. Well, I think that is about it for today's video, so if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Down in the description, we'll have a link to join the Discord. You can come join us, hang out, talk about all things Pokemon, sleep, and the like. A huge thank you to all my channel members. It really means a lot to me. You guys want to show your support financially, despite there being no paid rewards for members. If you too want to become a channel member, then feel free to click that join button down below. And as always, I thank you all for watching and hope that you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.